I want to welcome Dennis Tajer, American Airlines pilot and spokesman for the Allied Pilots Association, the union for 15,000 pilots who fly for American. Thank you so much for joining us. Not a good day, obviously, and I think all Americans, desperately want everybody to keep their jobs in your industry and every other industry. Just explain to the audience, to the degree you can, what you think is at stake at this particular moment.
Oh, right now, you may have heard this on an airplane, unfortunately, Captain coming on, myself saying, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to divert. We're taking a heading to an alternate destination now, and that is with these massive amount of layoffs. You mentioned, I think it was yesterday with our CEO, Doug Parker, this is a bridge, and we had a bridge across a river we thought was a certain width. It's wider, and right now we're having to walk off the edge of this half-built bridge. It has repercussions that go beyond just the airline industry. There are 13 other jobs out there for every airline job. So this is going to ripple. It's going to stream down into the economy. We're going to have tens of thousands of employees that are on unemployment, not contributing to the economy. It's going to risk the recovery that is going to happen, that is going to be needed in order to pay back these debts, not only to the taxpayer, but to the private market. So smaller cities, mid-sized cities, the services will be cut because the DOT framework won't be there. These are just things that are going to happen. And having this cut happen now, particularly for pilots, as Doug Parker said, it takes months and months on the down cycle and back up to get these pilots back up and flying. And the public's ready to fly when it's safe to fly. Go ahead.
Right. That's what I wanted to ask you about, Dennis. And I don't mean to be crass about it, but there's a lot of people, I think, asking the question, if, in fact, employees are furloughed, whether they're pilots, flight attendants, folks doing work on the planes themselves, everybody who's part of the supply chain, if you will, of the airline industry. If somebody were to be furloughed, how quickly do you think that they could get back to work? And I know we've been told it could take months and months and months, but one of the things I wonder is, why would it take that long?
I hear it, and that's a great question. Speaking to the pilots, matter of fact, American Airlines was on record. The VP of Network Planning, Vasu Raja, said that it's 12 to 15 months to crew up an airplane, and that's from the down cycle to the up. Because you pull out of the bottom, everybody has to train down. On the down cycle and on the up cycle, you have to pull everybody back in from the bottom and they train up. So by their own words, it's 12 to 15 months. Let's go with 12 months. So from the moment you furlough to the moment getting everybody back up, you're looking at a 12-month window. Another 6 months holding this out. And we believe we're a vaccine industry. We're a vaccine country right now. We've got to have this bridge extended across this turbulent river, or we're going to be walking right into the middle of the river, and the repercussions will be long-term, and it'll affect a lot more than the airline industry.
But what is that bridge? Just explain, though, the 12 months or 15 months that people are talking about. Is that a training problem? I mean, the reason I'm thinking about this, and maybe ignorantly or the most conventional way to think about it, if unfortunately I was furloughed or laid off for a period of time and I was hoping to get my job, I imagine, unless I went out and got another job, the second somebody, made the call to me, I'm going to want to go back to work as quickly as possible. So I'm just trying to understand the actual dimensions of what it takes. And when people say, you furlough them today, all of a sudden you started the clock, you can't really restart for 12 months. I don't understand that.
I appreciate it. That's a great question. I appreciate your inquiry to that. Because pilots are assigned to an aircraft and a seat position. And when we furlough from the bottom. So all of our junior first officers, mostly on narrow bodies, are removed. That causes a trickle down of training that has to happen in order to maintain a system, even at a greatly reduced system. And when that happens, these pilots come out of the ability to fly and into training, which is also a narrow funnel. There are only so many simulators and so many instructors to do that. That's the downside that happens, the trickle down, the cascading, the tsunami, the tidal wave on the downside. On the upside, you bring those pilots back in from the bottom up. Now you start stacking training on the upside. So it is something that's been in the industry since its inception. And I know it seems complicated, but it is a very large ship. And when you stop it, it takes a lot of energy to get it back up and running.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.